zeros of graphs using calculators. Um, Sorry, it's not the best quality, but it is what it is. So a root or a zero, you've probably talked about this before, but when you're talking about graphs, so if you look at this graph right here, this is I'm going to go ahead and circle it. These are the roots. Oh, that's pretty much the same color I used. So these are our roots. It's when the function crosses the x-axis. So remember, this right here is the x-axis. So and it's also when y equals 0. So if you look, and I'm going to erase those two circles. If you look, when it crosses at -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So notice that's the x equals -7, and then this one is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my x values are 6 and -7. So you always write it as, or the question's always asked, what are the zeros? So the zeros are at 6 and -7. So y equals 0 at 6 and at -7, because there's that point right there that's at 6, comma 0. So those are your zeros, and this one would be -7, 0. Okay. Sorry, trying to get back. There we go. Now, we are going to use a calculator to find the zeros. So find the zeros of y equals x squared plus 5x plus 4. Since I'm at home with a sick child, I'm not going to be able to use the calculator that you guys are using. It's not the same exact ones, but it's a good thing for me to show you. So if you go on Schoology, there's a link that always says calculator under important files, or it might even be on the home screen, I don't remember. But if you open this, that link will take you here. Yes, it takes you to the park site, and that always freaks everyone out. But if you just hit start and then start again, at the very top of the screen, ignore the question, but at the very top of the screen it's going to say TI-84 graphing calculator. That's the same exact calculator I have in my classroom. The only difference is that it is not yellow like the one that was on the ones that we have in the classroom. So if you look, this is the calculator. So finding zeros, and I'm going to find them for that equation right there. So finding zeros for y equals x squared plus 4. So these are the steps listed in the TI calculator. You can go ahead and pause the video if you need to write all of those down. I personally think it's better to write all of the steps down and then to try them out. So go ahead and try it out, or go ahead and pause it if you need to. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to hit the y equals button, which is right here. So y equals, I'm going to type in this equation just like we always do. So x squared plus 5x plus 4. So that's my equation. Okay, now the next thing after I've typed in my equation is I want to hit second trace. Now, if you hit the graph button on this one, you are going to be able to see them. So if I hit graph, you can see it's at -1, -2, -3, and -4. You can also just, but I'm going to show you again. I always like to show easy ones first before I show the more complicated. So I'm going to hit second trace. I'm going to go down to number 2, or just hit number 2. So go down to 2, which is 0. Now this is the part everyone always messes up on. So notice on the screen it says left bound. So I need to move to the left of whatever 0 I'm trying to look for. So I'm moving to the left. Notice I'm using the left button, or the left arrow. So I move to the left. I'm going to hit enter. Now I need to move to the right of it. So move to the right just a little bit and hit enter again. Now if you look at the top, those two arrows, and let me go ahead and just write on the screen. So those two arrows right there should have the 0 between it. So you should have the 0 in between them. Now when I hit, let me erase those two lines. Now when I hit enter, it's going to say it. Oops, let me try that again. I accidentally hit enter one too many times. So left bound, enter, right bound, enter. Notice it says guess. So that guess is never right. I don't know why TI calculators have it, but it always does. And hit enter one more time. So now it says the 0 is at -4. So my next 0 is at x, or my first 0 is at x equals -4. And then we're going to do the steps to find the other one. So notice it says at the bottom, repeat steps to find other 0. So second trace, go to number 2 again. Now I'm trying to find the other one. So notice I'm hitting the right arrow to get there, which is always confuses people. So if you just get your cursor so that it's on that 0 and then hit the left arrow a couple times so that you know it's to the left of it, you can definitely see, yes, it's to the left. Hit enter. Now move to the right of it a couple and hit enter. Now that arrow's up here, you just can't see it. Notice it's saying guess and hit enter again. So it's at -1, 0. So the next 0 is at -1. And yes, we could see that, but again, on your assignment today, it's not going to be exactly that. On your assignment, it's going to change this y equals to just 0, so it's not going to have that part. It's going to just say equals 0, because again, we're looking for when does the equation equal 0, and there are two of them because they're parabolas.